another both end that these successful groups are doing. They are tracking work. Are we getting work done? They are absolutely effective at getting work done. And they're also tracking the relationship as a container of work. And when something is going off the rails, they're the ones that are stopping work to do something about it. There's a concept that a mentor, Simon Copsey, told me about, but from the Toyota production system called the and-on cord. And basically, if the cord was pulled, it was basically a cord that ran above the production line. And if that cord was pulled, all work stopped. And it's pretty cool because anyone had the right to pull the cord. So talk about egalitarian, anyone could pull the cord. And if the cord was pulled, the leader would come over and the team would come around and they would explore why was the cord pulled and then work together to solve the problem. And what's really fascinating about it is it wasn't that they had a right to do it. They actually felt that people had an obligation. If you discover a problem, you're obligated to stop. And the reason why they really promoted this is because if you can get the problem at the source when it is still small, it is so more effective to address the issue. And so the groups that I'm noticing that are really able to stay in that joyful engagement, that sense of spirit and elation, are groups that are pulling a metaphorical and-on cord in their groups. And I'm noticing these groups of people tend to have members that are very self-aware and self-responsible. So like, they'll be like, wait a second, that didn't feel very good right there. And then there's this process of teasing apart, like, what's mine, what's mine, what's mine. And it's just a beautiful way of cleaning it up. And so these groups are not only learning about the work that they're doing, but they're learning each other. And so if you think about like a circle as like a basket or a container, like they're really weaving the connections and knowing each other well, which creates this really sturdy container. And so, you know, in the old world, I think we had a sense of linearity, you know, happily ever after. We kind of thought a relationship and then just happily ever after. And I think people who are really standing with 2 feet in this new world are working more with cycles and recognizing that there is a cycle of human interaction around harmony, disharmony, and repair. And this comes out of like attachment theory and, you know, just studies done with parents and young children. But even in the most loving relationships, there's periods of harmony, and then there's a natural shift into disharmony. And then there's an ability to repair. And I think in the old world, we tended to be very afraid of conflict. We shoved it under the rug, we minimized it. I think people sacrificed their needs so that like the group could just keep going. But in this new world, you know, that disharmony is just aired, and that people believe that they can move from breakdown into breakthrough, and that the belief that like you can actually get stronger from the broken places. I have this sense of VUCA, you know, volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. Like, we are going beyond the little shores that we are familiar with. We are heading out into the unknown as groups. And I see groups and teams and organizations like you really are a spaceship. And like, and yes, looking at the work that you're getting done is really important. But as you're out in outer space, that thing that is holding you together, that is actually holding your work, matters. And if it was a spaceship and you're out in outer space and like something started to click and make noise, you would know like your survival really depends on addressing this. So just wanting to say that, like, you know, the mutual tracking of both the relationship as well as the work that is being done, the mutual tracking of your needs and my needs, that these are the things that groups are that I am in that are able to attune and actually feel like they're doing power with. They're not just structurally power with. That's the difference that is making a difference.